guys? It's the Cowboy King of Entertainment. I'm back with another video. And guys, today I am going to be grading the Sony Showcase. And I'm also going to be rating on my level of interest every single game shown. Now, I said I'm going to be rating my level of interest. See, these are my first impressions based off of what I've seen, my first impressions. And the reason why I have to talk like that is because many people like to take what I say out of context. If I say Redfall is not a bad game, they act like I played the whole game, I'm reviewing the game, and I simply was just giving it my first impressions after playing it for only 3 hours. I said it wasn't a bad game. Now, so to say it again, I will be grading the whole show from A to F, okay? And I will be rating each game of my level of interest, my level of interest, from a 1 to 10 scale. So, let's see how much I like each game, or it gauges my interest. All right? So, with that being said, this video is gonna be epic. 'Cause I'm a cowboy. Oh, man. It's So the first game, I gotta say, was kind of cool for me to see because it was the first thing we've actually all seen from Avon Studios. I used to be a big cloud gamer. Jade Raven actually put together that team. She was a part of the Stadia team for Stadia Games and Entertainment. So to see what her game looks like was cool. Even though it wasn't gameplay, it kind of reminds me of Watch Dogs a little bit. But I think it was kind of cool. It piqued my interest. But without gameplay, I don't know. So I'm going to give it a 6. So the next game was Helldivers, and it reminds me of Starship Troopers. It's a third-person action, over-the-shoulder game, shooting aliens that look like giant insects. I like third-person games, so it looked like it's multiplayer. That's cool for me. So it piqued my interest a little bit, but as of right now, I'm going to give it a 6 as well. So the next game was called Immortals of Avon, and honestly, I think it's a missed opportunity because it would have been a really cool third-person game, but it's a first-person game. You got magic and abilities. It looks kind of cool. Reminds me of Destiny a little bit. My interest, I'm going to also say a 6 for this one. Next, we had Ghost Runner 2, and I'm not the biggest fan, again, of first-person action-adventure games, but it looked pretty cool. Again, that's going to be a 6 for me. So the first game that piqued my interest was called Phantom Blade. It looks like, honestly, it looks like a Souls type game, like Sekiro. I hope it's not Souls, but it piqued my interest. That I'm going to give a 8. All right, so the next game was Sword of the Sea. It's third person, so I'll give it a 6. Alright, so the Talos Principle Part 2, I have, like, no interest at all because I really didn't see gameplay, so I'm really not sure what type of game it is. So I'm going to actually have to give that a 4. It did look interesting as far as sci-fi. Alright, so I had this game called Neva. It looked like, kind of like a cartoon. Couldn't really tell what the graphics would be like in-game, but it was interesting because it actually had death. So that made me a little interested in it, but I'll give it a 5. So Cat Quest actually looks kind of cute. Looks a little silly. I'm going to give it a 4. I'm just saying. Foam Star looks a little, I know people said it's like Splatoon, but I used to look at Splatoon like, so personally, it might be a fun game. As far as piquing my interest, I'm going to say it's a 5. Alright, so the Plucky Squire reminds me of kind of like a It Takes Two. Doesn't look like it's co-op or not. That I don't know. But it looks cool how you could go on pages and jump around the real world. I'm going to have to give it a 4, to be honest. So I'm not going to lie, Teardown looks kind of cool. It looks like Minecraft meets Legos, but you could destroy, pretty much looks like everything. So that was kind of cool to me. I'm going to give it a 6. So I'm not a big fan of Metal Gear. Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. It's a remake. I mean, didn't see gameplay, so to be honest with you, I'm just not excited at all, so it's a 4. So Towers of Agasper looks kind of cool. It looks super big, open world. It got some parts that doesn't look like I like look like maybe you have to create things or whatever. It might slow down the gameplay, but I got a little bit of interest in that, so I'll give it a 6. Honestly, Final Fantasy 16 looks absolutely amazing. I love the combat. Looks like Devil May Cry. That's getting an 8 for sure. So Alan Wake 2 reminds me of Resident Evil, and that's a good thing for me. It looks pretty intriguing. I was never into Alan Wake, but honestly, this one looks pretty cool, so I'm going to have to give it a 7. Now, I've been out of the Assassin's Creed franchise for some time, but Mirage said it's going to go back to his roots, and my favorite Assassin's Creed is actually Part 1, so that does give me some level of interest, but I don't know, Assassin's Creed kind of fell off for me, so I'm going to give it a 7. I'm looking forward to trying it. Alright, so Revenant Hill gets a 1. Honestly, Grand Blue Fantasy Relinks looks really good. I'm going to put that up there, actually, as an 8. So I thought it was cool that they showed Street Fighter 6. It looks cool. I'm just not a fan of Street Fighter 6 anymore, or Street Fighters. But as a fighting game, you know, I'll give it a 5. Alright, so Ultros looks pretty interesting. I like 2D side scrollers. It was kind of violent. That was cool. But I didn't like the art style. Honestly, I'll give it a 5. So Tower Fantasy looks kind of interesting. It reminds me a little of Anthem. You're flying and you're going underwater. It was a cool looking game. The action looked kind of cool too. I'll give it a 6. So I never played Dragon Dogma 1, but Dragon Dogma 2 looks pretty cool. I like the dragons and all that crazy stuff. Looks cool. I'll give it a 6. Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted Part 2. I've never been a fan of the Five Nights at Freddy's, to be honest with you. And I don't think this pulled me in either. Especially they didn't really show much that sucked me in. So I'm going to give it a 4. Alright, so I have a love-hate relationship with Resident Evil 4. So Resident Evil VR 4 mode looks pretty cool. Honestly, I don't have a PlayStation VR. And I don't know, I just don't really have any interest. But it looks cool. If I did play it, I don't know. I guess I would give it a 6. But it's not my most favorite Resident Evil. Alright, the next PlayStation VR 2 game was Arizona Sunshine Part 2. It kind of looks cool, honestly. It looks like a fun game to play in VR with zombies. So I guess I'll give it a 7. If I had a PlayStation 2, I'd probably get Crossfire Sierra Squad. It looks like Call of Duty, but in VR. I mean, that's pretty cool. So, yeah, I mean, I guess I would give that a 7. So this is probably the most impressive VR game I've seen on this showcase synopsis. And it looks like you got guns, but also force powers. I mean, it speaks for itself. I'll actually give this an 8. So I always wanted to play Beat Saber. I mean, it looked like a super epic good time. Just swinging swords and cutting things open and beats playing. So this would get an 8. So it's pretty cool to see video footage of Bungie's new game. It's called Marathon. We didn't see really any gameplay, so honestly, I don't know what to expect. So I'm just going to give it a 5. Alright, so it looks like it's a new Destiny expansion called The Final Shape. I used to be a big Destiny fan, so I think I welcome anything that comes to Destiny at this point. I'm sure they're going to do a good job, but they barely showed anything, so I got to give it a 6. Honestly, I think one of the most silly things is showing Concord because you really showed nothing. So I don't even know how could I get excited for that. I'm going to give it a 4, I guess. It's a game coming to PS5. Alright, so Project Q looks kind of cool to me. I use Remote Play a lot, so for me, it'd probably be cool. Although I do use it on my phone, and my phone is pretty big. A 7.6-inch screen, the Galaxy Fold 3. And they use these really cool controllers, so I really wouldn't need it. But to have a dedicated device when I'm just in the house for Remote Play might be cool because it has the DualSense, all the features. And also, it is an 8-inch screen, so that's kind of cool. And honestly, the PlayStation earbuds, I'm pretty sure they're just like regular earbuds, but honestly, one of my earbuds is actually messing up. I had it for like 5 years anyway. I don't know. I'm kind of interested. You could use them on your phone or your PlayStation. So, gotta give them, I guess, an 8. So, honestly, I had no intentions of playing the first Spider-Man when it first came out. But years later, I actually got the itch to want to play it. I still didn't play it, but I wanted to play the remastered version. So I will eventually. I just don't really want to pay for it. But this Spider-Man 2, wow. So honestly, this was the most impressive thing I seen at the showcase. It definitely looks cool. My favorite, all-time favorite game is Prototype, and it gave me Prototype vibes with that Spider-Man suit, like the Venom suit. Guys, I really want to play this game, so I need to hurry up and play the other Spider-Man games, but I'm gonna give it a 9. Honestly, guys, there wasn't many games I could say that actually impressed me and that actually had my interest super high up. So to be honest with you, this showcase, yeah, the grade I'm going to have to give it from A to F. Honestly, guys, I thought this was going to be a lot better. I thought they was going to bring stuff like Factions Part 2. This was underwhelming for me. And I think the biggest games was Spider-Man, which really brought it home. But the other biggest game was Final Fantasy 16, which we've seen so much video on it anyway. They probably shouldn't even show that game anyway, because I really felt like they barely showed anything new. Nothing else really had me wanting it that bad. And honestly, when I think of it now, they just kind of like, nothing sticks in my mind besides maybe that Phantom Blade game. So to be honest with you, I'm going to give it a D. This showcase gets a D, mainly because it was so much hype and it didn't live up to the hype, but that as far as games that I'm interested in, it fell short, to be honest with you. So that's pretty much it for this showcase, and hopefully we'll see a lot of other games that wasn't showed at the summer games. But with that being said, I'm the Cowboy King of Entertainment, and I will see you guys either on one of my 4 live streams during the week, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or in any of my daily content. Make sure you guys leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll get back to everybody, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And now, your mama knows.
I'll make you famous.
Because I'm a cowboy! Oh, man!
And now, your mama knows.